What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about everything PC gaming related. And this week, it is the vacation cast, because we are in the sunny, not so warm Outer Banks, and we are having a fun time, mostly hanging out and not going to the beach.
Go.
The weather was nice today, though, but yeah, so vacation, how's that going?
It's going good. So glad you guys.
This is like the most staged.
It's
Okay.
going great.
I'm one of your hosts,
I'm
JERMgaming. I'm Jeremiah. Dave's here.
Yeah, that's Dave.
James is here.
What's up?
Joel's here.
I'm here.
And Debbie.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So yeah, we're just hanging out and playing lots of videos. Also, Picor's here. Hey, Picor.
Wait, are these P-Core's first words in the
It's his
podcast?
debut on the podcast.
No, it was another vacation podcast.
You didn't say anything.
Oh, maybe not. We've already forgotten.
But anyway, so first thing we did when we got here is pull TVs off the walls in the bedroom and bring them into the common area, and we've created a Bloodborne LAN party. And
It's a lot more awesome than it sounds.
the screaming's all together. It's mostly just me screaming.
I told Joel this morning we had the cable guy show up to repair some stuff on the modem that was out, and when we walked in the door, we had I think 3 TVs going with Bloodborne at the same time, and I was like, man, like if you just step back and like listen to the sounds coming from this room, like this sounds horrific. The screeching, screaming, splattering blood sounds, grunts, angry swearing. Like it's like some kind of torture dungeon or something.
Or an Irish pub.
Yep, been playing a lot of Bloodborne, been doing a lot of eating, a lot of drinking, a lot of sitting in the hot tub. That's pretty much it. So that's enough vacation talk. Other than, obviously, there's no live podcast this week because you're listening to this probably on Friday going, hey, you guys weren't on Twitch last night. Well, because we weren't live because we're at the beach and having fun.
In case you hadn't heard.
What?
In case you hadn't heard.
Yeah.
We could just do a live feed of the ocean, the waves.
It's pretty relaxing. So, our main topic tonight is OnLive. Debbie does not know what OnLive is. There's no reason, like, it's okay that you don't know what OnLive is. Does everyone else know what OnLive is?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
was? Okay. OnLive was a video game streaming service that came around in like 2010, I believe. And the general idea was, instead of buying a fancy console, you buy this little streaming box that plugs in your TV, and then when you play with your OnLive controller and your OnLive streaming box, the game is actually being played on OnLive servers, and you're just watching the game be played. So the idea would be you are playing a game way more, like, with better graphics than your computer could possibly run it at, or your console could, because someone else's computer is doing the heavy lifting. The problem with that would be, how fast of internet do you think you need for that? The answer was faster than anyone had.
In America.
I joined the OnLive beta, or when it first launched, and I had
tried
like
too.
10 megabit internet, and it was not nearly fast enough. Like, it just didn't work.
I tried it at work and it was like 280p.
Another issue was latency. Anything that's streamed over the internet, which is the same problem you can have with PlayStation Now or SharePlay, is that it's fine for games that aren't super demanding, but any game like a Twitch shooter or something.
A game like Legos, like a Lego game, would be just fine on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like anything, it just became absolutely difficult to.
Except that they had shooters. No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
They had
really
everything. Not for cheap prices either. It was kind of weird. They never had that great of a business model, but
Yeah, the games you paid full price for them, basically.
now, in 2012, many of OnLive's staff lost their jobs. They were sold to a venture capital firm. They were $40 million in debt. And this is a company that was at one time valued at $1.8 billion, which I don't know how someone valued them at that, because they never made anywhere close to that amount of money.
How much do you think you're worth?
I think it was mostly
1.8
their
billion.
patents and stuff.
Well, I think, probably their patents. They haven't figured out how to get it out the door right, but
And-
technologies, it's going to be
That's a
amazing
good
one
patent
day.
for
I mean, it's
it,
going to
yeah.
happen one of these days.
And the reason they never really caught on is because they were directly competing against Steam. But with Steam, the games were always cheaper. And that was the problem, was people would rather own the game and play it on their local computer. It turns out there weren't enough people who wanted to play games way faster than the computers they owned. There just wasn't enough who also had the money for really fast internet.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if one day we could just turn our iPhones on, or whatever phones, and just keep playing Bloodborne. Like right now, the only thing frustrating is like then you have to get a controller. Then where you bringing that in your backpack everywhere?
That's actually not a problem with an Android.
Yeah, you can actually stream. You can do share play on Android phones.
But I'm like, you still have to do it.
But you could also have controllers,
right?
right?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like, so even if you could, it's like then you still have to bring a controller around, which sucks.
But in March 2014, they weren't making any money, weren't doing very well. They announced a new direction. They had Cloud Lift. which was their new features where you could stream and play titles you bought from Steam, select titles, and you could play them on mobile devices, TVs, and other computers. That didn't catch on well either. The price of OnLive dropped from $15 to $8, like a month after they did that. And now, OnLive is shutting down. So Sony is acquiring important parts of OnLive, and their plans don't include a continuation of the game service in its current form. That's according to OnLive. As the first ever game streaming service of its kind, everyone who has ever played a game using OnLive, all 30 of them, has contributed to the technology and its evolution in some way. We're immensely proud of what's been achieved and extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for being a part of the OnLive game service. So, OnLive is shutting down because Sony bought them. Sony really wanted the patents because they've got some cool patents and everything. And I'm assuming Sony wants to use them for PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
That or they want to block.
Or they want to take them off the market.
Them.
Yeah. But here's the interesting part. OnLive is not offering refunds for any of the games people bought on the service. And OnLive is not offering like Steam keys or any other way.
They are offering Steam keys.
No, they've said they are not.
I
Look it
I
up.
just read that today.
Oh, unless they've changed something. Okay, so I was reading this past weekend.
Now, question: is that bad though? If they said while you're buying the game,
Well, that's what we want to talk about. So you paid if you pay full price for a game,
Yeah.
and the service goes away.
Yeah.
Did you really own the game or not? Because you can't play it anymore; it's gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of the stuff you don't really own anyways. Like when it comes to games, you don't like completely own them.
Well, do you not? Like I bought GTA 5 as a disc. I own the game, right?
Like even if you own the disc, like if you look like even in the agreements on there, it's like it's being sub-licensed to this and sub-licensed to you. So it's just like I don't know if it actually means you completely.
But I have a physical game I can sell to someone else for like an amount of money. Like,
That's true,
granted,
yeah.
they have to have a PlayStation 4
But if they
to play
say
it
it
on.
in there in the agreement when you're buying the game,
It's one of those things where-
it sucks. But I think it's. I mean, if they don't,
Is it okay? I mean,
I think it's fine. If you
So-
agree to it, then yeah.
well, that's the important thing. People did agree to it
Yeah.
in those long
I
terms
mean, yeah.
of service
If it's
that no one
in
read.
if it's in those kind of things, then yeah, it just sucks. It'd be nice if it says, "Hey, we buy this when it goes." Like if it was much bigger text, like more. I don't know, like the same way, like let's say you buy an MP3, like from iTunes, or like it gives you an actual straight up pop up before they buy the game. That if it was something like that said, "Hey, you're buying the game," okay, PlayStation Plus, I get a free game. If I don't have PlayStation Plus, I can't play those free games.
But then compare that to, say, Amazon Music. If you buy stuff from them, you can buy it as an MP3. Amazon Music can go away. You can quit a subscription to them. Anything can play an MP3.
Yeah.
You own that piece of music.
Well,
You can-
but that's what they offer. They offer
Well-
giving you a physical copy, though.
So by comparison, Good Old Games, GOG, when you buy games from them, they download all the files you need onto your computer. GOG
Yeah.
can go away, and that does not affect
Exactly,
your
yeah.
ability to play
it
them
doesn't
at all.
authenticate like iTunes
Yeah.
does.
Right.
With Amazon
Yeah.
or
So OnLive,
iTunes is now DRM free now.
all of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's just because of pressure from all the
But
other
what,
popular
but what
services.
format is it?
I mean, you can.
Full quality?
It comes in full quality, but then you can re-render it out from iTunes as whatever file you want. But
So what do you guys think about digital ownership? Like, should services charge full price if
No,
they can go away?
Not because I like your point there. Even if you have a physical copy, right? The license says you don't own the game. You're just licensing it. But sure, that might be true. But in reality, you have physical control of that disc. You can do what you want with it. It still has value. But when all you have is the license, like it's out of your hands, out of your control completely. That sucks.
Which is kind of a sobering thought when you think about all our Steam libraries.
I don't want to think about my Steam library.
Which, I mean, the odds of Steam going under, I guess, in the next 10 years are pretty low.
Gabe Newell used to promise, like, if Steam goes under, we're gonna like warn you first. we're
Gabe
gonna, like,
Newell also said Half-Life episodes would come out every 6 months.
Exactly. He used to say like all these things.
And
about,
Debbie's taking a swig of wine.
oh, that's a big swig. Half-Life 3.
Pour one out for a homie that never released.
Cheers.
And we all drank.
Yeah, he used to say that if Steam goes under, we're gonna make sure that your games are covered. He hasn't said that since like 2007.
How many people have asked him, though? I mean, does that ever come up?
I'd imagine it's a pretty common question. I mean, Steam's a lot different than it used to be. It's a lot bigger than it used to be.
Right.
yeah, wait a second. Yes, I mean Steam is exactly the same. You wouldn't have your games anymore.
You wouldn't. The difference with Steam, though, is it's a more established service.
Exactly. It's,
But then what's the difference? What if online was a more established service? It's just
Then they wouldn't have gone under, probably. I mean,
exactly.
That's,
But I mean, I think it's not a great. I think it sucks having that, but I think it's fine for them to do that.
Is a good business model then.
That's what Steam's doing. It's just that theirs kicked off.
But Steam, they've got bigger sales. Like they're offering your games
Not
super
at the
cheap.
start.
Not when a
Not at
game
the
first
start.
comes out, but I'm saying OnLive was kind of like the PlayStation Network, where the games were never that cheap. Like even with discounts and stuff, they were never comparable to Steam games, as far as price.
I mean, Steam when they came out, Half-Life 2 was full price when I got it.
No, well, it doesn't matter when
Under
Steam
dial-up, and
when
everyone
Steam
was
first
like,
came
we're not
out.
gonna own the game.
It doesn't matter when Steam first came out. When
Steam's already
OnLive
pretty
came out,
established.
when OnLive came out, Steam was a much better, cheaper service.
Yeah, it was. But OnLive does what Steam doesn't do. Like they don't do streaming like from another service.
Yeah,
online
but
to
to
anyone.
get it to work well, I mean, that's the part that failed.
But
Yeah,
for
OnLive
the people-
didn't do that
I think
well
I think
either.
they were ahead of their time. Honestly, they were ahead
They
of
were.
their time. For some people, it worked extremely well. For most people, it didn't work well at all because you do need to have really fast internet. So I got it to work pretty quick on my fast internet at home at 720p, and it was actually not bad.
Mhm.
Like it felt like I had a cable that was like 100 feet long playing a first-person shooter.
Uh-huh.
You know, like a slight lag. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't amazing. But like seeing it going, that'd be awesome someday out in the future. Like all I gotta do is bring a controller. I have my MacBook Air. I can play whatever I want. You know, that's what I hope Sony does. Like eventually, like what if you get like a app on your MacBook Air, and I can start playing Bloodborne. It just streams from my home there.
Well, Steam,
You know?
the Steam streaming could work that
Can
way.
it do that?
I believe they're
I
talking
think
about doing it over the networks, aren't they, Dave?
That'd be cool. That'd be really
They'd
cool.
like to, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would be sick. Yeah, like
Yeah.
all right, sweet. I can just.
Then your home
turn it on.
computer still has to be doing the
It has
work.
exactly, yeah. But I mean, same thing I was saying with the PS4 or whatever. It would just be awesome to do that because you can do that with the Vita now.
Everyone's making weird temperature-related gestures right now.
I feel comfortable.
We got the Vapas. Oh my.
Debbie, are you burning up all of a sudden?
I am so hard.
We've been in this room for like 2 hours.
It's Dave's
Is it because we
computer.
shut the window?
It's Dave's computer.
Honestly,
Are you feeling heat coming
I
from it?
think it is black.
Scoot down. We'll scoot around.
Well, it's this whole room. It's just filling
There's
with
no air
Dave's computer
flow.
heat.
Okay, all right. Does someone want to
Well,
crack the fan on?
Will that fan be too much?
I don't think so. We'll try it. Let's try it.
You guys are hearing the live emergency air crisis on the Casual Shenanigans
Do you have to
podcast.
pull it,
Do I have to
or?
pull it?
Oh, there's no switch? Picor, you can talk. It's all right.
My wife just sent me a text saying,
Go ahead. Stick your head in the fan.
"Hey,
See
your
if
head
it
was
works.
right above."
That all moving really badly.
George just said that people buy ebooks and you don't own them. As soon as the service goes down, they're not yours at all.
Joy, if you want to come in here and talk about it, you're welcome to.
She's comfortable on the couch.
Oh, yeah, she's comfortable on the
She's
couch.
not moving.
Thank you, Joy.
Pipe up.
No, that's a good point, though. No, that's true. I mean, if you don't, you're buying on a service. But then again, those are also, well, they're not cheaper than regular books,
Yeah.
really, are they?
No.
Well, most ebooks aren't.
I mean, okay.
They should be.
If OnLive
They're getting
offered, if they offered cheap games, I mean, that would be an awesome service if it worked well. I think they were ahead of their time. I don't think they did anything wrong, honestly, for the games. If it had gone really well, you always have your games full access anywhere you go. That's something most people can't say.
Mm-hmm.
You're not dragging your computer everywhere to play it, you know.
Well, that's true.
So I just think they were
What are
ahead of
you dragging then?
What?
What are you playing it on?
Just like a laptop.
Any
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
you say you're not dragging a computer.
Yeah, like
what are you
I'm sorry.
playing?
I mean, like your desktop
I'm gonna
computer
play
or
on
like
my
consoles.
glass
You can just
here.
bring a tiny little. You can bring a tiny little laptop or a Google Chromebook.
Or
and
an old
you're freaking
laptop.
playing a game. Or an old laptop.
No,
yeah.
Dave, you can't.
I'm trying so
All right, so it's for everybody who, Dave's computer is always top of the line. Dave has the biggest and the baddest. When Uncle Sam's check comes in,
Did
Dave
you know
goes
he has a
shopping.
12 CPU? 12
He has a
core?
6-core.
Each core is 2 though, right?
It's hyper-threaded, yes.
So that means it's 12, right?
Yes, 12, yes.
What did I said 12 core.
Just the way you said it was like, I'm reading the spec sheet. It's got a 12 CPUs.
I said 12 core.
You said-
I meant to say 12 core.
It's not 12
Sorry, I meant to
core.
say 12 core. My bad.
Okay, yes, he has a hexacore that's
12 threads,
hyper-threaded.
12
That's
bitches.
12
You have a-
bitches.
You have a quad core that's hyper-threaded, so you have 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel, it's
I meant to say
it's
yeah.
6 cores, 6 threads.
So anyway, no, 12 threads, Dave. 6 additional threads.
That's true.
6 additional pylons. So for all of that wonder and majesty, Dave's laptop, right now there is a pillow leaned up against it between it and the mic, so we can't all hear the pitifully old GT what?
GTX 7950
graphics
mobile.
card, which is howling despite the fact that he's not doing anything graphics intensive at the moment.
In 2006, I was playing the Fear multiplayer beta on this laptop, and of course, as you do, bragging about my new laptop in the chat. No one believed that a 7950 GTX was in this laptop. Like everyone's like, "Oh, you're full of crap! Like they don't even offer that." I was like, "Yeah, they do."
So Dave, why don't you walk everyone through your sweet, sweet laptop?
So that was almost a decade ago. It does have a full HD screen. That's I mean, it's
1080p?
1080p. Yeah, and it's IPS too. In 2006, that
No.
well, not IPS, but it's color accurate. It's not TN. It's one of those early
Okay.
panels.
Okay.
The battery is dead. Like if I unplug it from the wall right now, it'll go turn off. A RAM DIMM has died. I'm down to 3 gigs of RAM now. It's running Windows Vista, although it came with
That's the most shameful part of that whole thing. It's still running Vista.
It's still running Vista because the code was super cheap back in the day.
You mean $100? The
No.
only way to get Windows?
Educational copy sound $26.
Can't you get another one?
Another what code?
Code so you can get something different on there?
He could.
I could. I installed a custom 200 gigabyte 7200 RPM hard drive in it. But back in the day, it was a speed demon. and
Too fast!
now it's like the light is just on. The hard drive light.
It's working.
The hard drive light just stays on because of the page file. It's just
That's
thrashing. Yeah, but it also has a Core 2 Duo, which back in the day, like that was.
Now, what brand is it for everyone who remembers this amazing
Oh gosh, I
legacy
think
PC company? Hypersonic? It's a-
Hypersonic. They built Clevo based.
It's a Clevo, yeah, yeah.
But
Clevo.
Clevo, they build a lot of high-end gaming laptops, but they're
Like a
sold under
black
different
Clevo.
names like Sega. Clevo would be like the General Motors. Joel? Joel's busy laughing at something Jim said.
I wasn't even listening to the tech stuff anyway.
I don't have to
Anyway.
text them. I can just turn them and make them laugh.
Clevo makes laptops that a lot of high-end laptop
yeah,
makers use.
Joel, actually, when I bought my laptop in 2006, Alienware was buying Clevo laptops and then branding them as Alienwares. Like it was cheaper to buy Clevos for some of their models. So this actually was a very similar to an Alienware that cost much more, but I liked like the lack of Alienware branding.
I remember really
actually.
wanting an Alienware
Oh,
laptop and there was one that was like a Porsche. It was like red.
Oh, I remember that. It was a
You know what I'm
PC Gamer. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like a
It's a
laptop. that was-
Porsche Ferrari.
There was a Ferrari
Maybe
laptop.
Ferrari.
that was
Maybe it's
red.
Ferrari.
Yeah, it made a
was car name.
stupid, like you turned it on, it made an engine revving noise.
Yeah, I was
So you
just,
can just
so
hate
cool.
all your decisions you've ever made. I mean, that's really cool.
After
3
it goes-
years
Dude,
later.
What if they had sounds recorded so like 10 years down the line it goes oh
And
man.
no one's going to own that laptop 10 years later.
Well, you might.
Not everyone's you.
Yeah, I mean, it still does. It still does things like web stuff.
Like surfing the internet that pretty much
Browsing.
every computer can do.
I had a pop up from Microsoft Forefront. Anybody remember Microsoft Forefront? It said, "Danger, your antivirus is out of date." I clicked update and it spun for a second and it says, "Error, cannot retrieve updates." Because Microsoft is no longer pushing updates for Microsoft Forefront. It's gone, turned off.
Did you read that headline? I'm
A
asking you.
little
if you
bit. I
read
just saw a tiny bit of it. I just saw Battlefront.
it. Okay, so we're moving on to the news.
Yay!
Wait,
the
we didn't
news
even talk about
time.
OnLive.
We did. No one had anything else they wanted to say. What do you want to talk about?
Get it? Didn't say.
Get into it, James. I was asking. Everyone's just sitting there like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's James getting into it noises.
Talk about online streaming
Is that's your getting into it noises, James?
You'll hear that noise later.
James turns into a
Hear my
razorback
getting into
gorilla.
it later.
He's a silverback gorilla.
I need a few more of these in me though.
They don't call him the Silver
That could
Bear for nothing.
Silver bear.
Anyway. Yeah, I've actually been burned even on Sony's network. Like, I bought a game, and like, I guess it was it was Two Worlds 2. What a fantastic game.
Yeah.
But like, what's the name of the company that does Two Worlds 2? Two Worlds Top
What was the name?
Topware, something like that.
Yeah, it was
They're,
weird.
they're like a German company or something.
Ah, the Germans.
But like,
We love them.
all of a sudden it said it was expired. Like, I paid for it and bought it, and they said it expired. I guess they changed something in their agreement with them, so they had to pull it off the store and then put it back up. When they put it back up, it was assigned to the wrong thing, so it said in my inventory that I had like some DLC. Or
The developer was called Reality Pump.
reality.
Topware Interactive. That's the
Topware.
publisher.
Yeah, reality pump.
So anyway, I tried to launch it. It wouldn't work. And so I was on the phone with them trying to figure it out, and they said, "Well, you can call the company." I'm like, I'm not gonna call that company. I'm not gonna call
Like the
for
game
it.
developer?
Yeah. Like, what? It's your network.
What are you gonna call them and say, "Hey guys, can you whip up a patch real quick so I can continue using this"? Like they're not
The
gonna do
game's
that.
fine.
Well, it just didn't show up that I owned it.
Yeah.
And then so
It showed that I owned some random DLC.
and then what was the resolution of that? Did it ever get
Nothing.
fixed? Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, the original Demon Souls on PS3, the
that-
servers went down, I think, 2.5 years after it came out. Because, I mean, it just, it didn't have a huge, following. But the following that did, loved it. And they all emailed, and the servers came back on. And then, from that on, it actually gained a lot more sales after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, well, what do we think about if, a game like Battlefield, right? Battlefield 2... Battlefield 3, Debbie, don't cut your head off.
She's like a child wonder. How do you turn the fan down?
I'm kind of scared right now.
Okay.
That's good.
If anyone's been hearing wind rustling noises in the mic for the last couple minutes, I'm sorry.
No, but okay, like in Battlefront 2, you own the game, or I own the original Battlefront 2 game. You can't play. I mean, you probably could. There's probably some mods or something you could hack to play some server on some IP address in
Russia.
Slovakia somewhere.
Oh,
But,
right. Slovakia.
Slovakia.
Okay, but
That made up Russian place.
and, the main game is online. So,
yeah.
you don't have the
No,
game
it's the same
anymore.
way actually late last year, there was a deal on Origin. It said every Command and Conquer game ever for $10. So of course I was like, I'm buying that. I bought it. None of the servers are still up.
Yeah.
So it's every Command and Conquer game that you can play on a local area network with friends. It was completely, and there are people who have developed their own servers to put up
Same for
with.
Fallout 1 and 2 came out on Steam, and I was like, sweet, I'll buy it. I
Doesn't work, huh?
always wanted to try it. It's literally impossible to get to work. It took me hours and hours. You had to find an illegal version of QuickTime 4 because you can't find it anywhere. You have to uninstall the QuickTime you have, install it, which breaks. Then I had to install it into a VM, a virtual machine thing. Barely got it to work. It just how can you sell that crap? Then I finally got it again on GOG because in it says, hey, we got this to working. It works on Windows 7 and 8. I was like, okay, I'll try it, and then it worked. But I'm like, how can you sell a piece of software that literally is incompatible with anything? How is that? How is that legal? Going and then they said in requirements will run on Windows 7. And I was like,
Because in theory it will, in the same way that Age of Empires 2 would in theory run on Windows 7.
Every PC game in theory can run somehow.
The HD edition, when they finally released that basically was, the game ran in HD anyway. If it's a PC game, it'll run in HD. You don't need a special edition for that.
Yeah.
But all they did was they fixed all the problems on Windows
Yeah.
7 where all the textures would blink out and the UI wouldn't work and everything else.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. So you're buying it again for that reason. But OnLive isn't doing any of that. Circling back to OnLive. OnLive, it was you buy this game for full price, you play on our service, and when the service crashes after 5 years, that's it. Which they can't afford to give any refunds. They don't have any money. They've been losing money for years, so I understand why they aren't giving refunds.
Now, if you bought a game on Steam for online, you get to keep the Steam game. That's what it was. But otherwise, you're screwed.
Honestly, guys, I don't think this system, I don't think consumers are going to put up with it.
They didn't with OnLive. It wasn't a good deal. People put up with Steam because, okay, if you're paying $5 for games on sales and stuff, if that went away, it wouldn't really, you wouldn't be that heartbroken.
Exactly. Most of my Steam library was bought at 10%, 15%.
Yeah, but when you lose 200 games.
Yeah.
Oh, that would definitely
and
suck.
So that's the thing. If you can imagine the average consumer, if their Blu-ray collection, the next format comes out, 5 years after that, it's all these Blu-rays. You don't watch them all the time anymore, maybe, but they're just all gone. They're just shelves
VHS.
empty. Yeah. It's that's not fair. I think consumers are going to wake up and there's going to be some.
Oh, you're saying because they could still keep their Blu-ray player and they could still watch their Blu-rays if they wanted to. But this is just when the new format comes out, someone comes along and takes all your Blu-rays away.
Exactly. I'm saying people, I think, are going to continue to get more upset about this. This is a new problem, a newer problem.
But there's never going to be a way to solve it though. Because
they can change the way they do digital ownership.
It could be instead
It's
of you
gonna have
buying a
to be
game,
just-
it could be because OnLive was a amount of money you pay every month.
So it's
And
gonna
you
be
had
a
to pay
way
for
that
the
you download
games.
the program individually, right? Like it's an individual package, yet it's still going to be able to be. You still want it to be able to sync with other saves.
Well, here, Joel,
So you can log on another computer to
Here's
log
what
into your other
I'm expecting
saves.
is-
Well, I mean, you're talking
Do
about,
it like
you're talking about
Netflix.
features, though. You're not talking about ownership.
So like if they disconnect, they go, oh, here you go. Here's your entire list. You download the games packaged once. For how
Actually,
long?
Well,
How long?
One thing I'm expecting is that in the future, there's going to be maybe even legally like a sunset clause requirement where it's like, if your service goes under, you have 180 days to provide your consumers with like a DRM unlocked complete version of your products in the entire library. Where it, like you have to like notify them by phone and email that they're.
What if the
library
publishers of the
platform.
games don't want to do that? Though?
It's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like, is it
I'm
just
saying-
up to the Steam to do that?
I'm saying.
Most-
I mean, we obviously you install a game on Steam. Guess what? It goes to Unity.
yeah, well, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so I'm like, obviously Steam doesn't run
You mean-
everything.
You mean Uplay?
Uplay, sorry.
Yeah.
Uplay.
I think, Joel, that it is going to get
I
to
know.
a point where people get so upset about this that a solution is going to have to be offered, and publishers, I bet, aren't going to like it, but consumers are.
Yeah.
But what if
Well, I mean-
OnLive had done the Netflix thing, where instead of paying $15 for the service and then paying for games, which even if you weren't paying full price for the game, that's still a lot because you could buy it by like a certain chunks of time, I think too.
Yeah.
What if you just paid $15 a month and then you could just play anything?
right,
in
dude.
the-
Then they might have customers. They might not be going.
But see,
under.
but then if it's like Netflix. When a movie leaves Netflix, people are like, "Oh, that sucks."
Yeah, but
people
it's
aren't
just
like,
not
"How
that
dare you
sucks.
take my movie from me?" People are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
new things come and go. They're always getting new stuff." And
Well,
people
that was
understand.
Pecor's point, too, is that that's just not going to be acceptable. How's the ice cream, Pecor?
I concur.
Exactly.
Okay,
Well, that's the problem with any digital ownership. You buy something on Apple, you don't own the music. You own the ability to play it,
Yeah,
but you don't
yeah.
actually own it.
Yeah.
Same thing with
That-
Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I purchase movies on iTunes and TV shows all the time. I know if Apple TV or Apple iTunes ever goes down and gets replaced by something else, yeah, okay, it's gone. Like,
You've lost
I've lost it,
hundreds
and I
of
understand
dollars.
that. And I'm fine with that because like,
you own an Apple device, you're fine with losing hundreds of dollars on things anyway.
like I like the service that Apple brings that I can just pop in this tiny little Apple TV. I can play any TV show, any movie I have.
And when they
anytime
tell
I
you it's
want.
over,
I don't have to go get a
over.
disc. I don't have to go get a disc and everything.
Yeah, but when it's over, do you not feel
It's worth
The thing
mentioning.
is, I'm buying it knowing that's what's gonna happen.
Well,
Yeah.
Joel, you can also buy like a Roku or something that can just stream all your movies. Like if you rip them to your hard drive or something, it can just stream them all and you can just own
Yeah.
them forever. Like there are other options.
No, I know that. Yeah, and I hate Roku. Like I hate just the whole design of it. I've been working on a Roku app for the last year and a half.
Oh, okay.
I hate Roku. Like it's an absolute design nightmare.
Okay, well there are other options. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
giving
No,
that
I
as
know
an
that.
example.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but
So-
I like it. I
So
like
you know what you could do?
Yeah.
Take all your if you heard that like iTunes was shutting down, take all your movies, play them through your Apple TV, rip them with an HDMI capture card, and just save.
Oh, that's suffering.
Oh no, you can record it with your phone. Let's see the screen.
Well, once I have the episodes downloaded, it doesn't have to connect to iTunes to play them again.
But it
Yeah,
has
how
to
much
play
would it-
through, and it
it does-
has to play through an Apple software though.
Yeah, it has to play.
Yeah.
So if that service shuts down,
Actually, I'm not sure because you
No,
can go into iTunes and click. I mean, you can open using
you can,
QuickTime.
you can go into iTunes.
But
yeah,
it's
QuickTime.
still
I know it's
VLC
Apple
for
service.
Or VLC.
Okay, all right. Our
But
VLC.
it still has to have QuickTime on.
What you want to do is download that file,
Yeah.
run it through Handbrake, turn it into an MP4 and MKV, and it's open source forever.
Do you do that for every movie you have?
Well, I don't use iTunes, so yes. All my Blu-rays, yes, I've ripped them to MKVs, then I re-encode them to an MP4. So it's a Blu-ray for all
you
visual
do that.
purposes. It's a Blu-ray quality
I
archival
pay for my
thing.
service that I like.
That's fine.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I'm not worried
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
well.
I buy Blu-rays for the movies I absolutely love and I want to own a physical copy of.
You're,
Most else
you're
I don't
not
care about.
wrong for like putting more stock in Apple system because it's a good bet Apple's
Yeah.
gonna be around for a while. Like Apple is worth like $700 billion, or they have like $700 billion
Yeah.
in cash. So, like the odds of Apple ever going away in your lifetime are pretty stinking low.
You're
So
wrong for your fanboyish devotion to them, but not.
What am
for,
I? What
not
am I
for that.
fanboyish devotion to them? Just
Are
the same
you
way you
sure?
are to your fanboys to your Android
Joel,
phone.
put your pants back on.
You guys love your open software, doing what
Loving
you want
is
just
different
as
than being a
much.
fanboy.
What
I'm not
what part?
blind.
What part am I blind to it? Give me facts. Tell me.
No,
Okay.
not blind to. I think what
What
James
am I
trying to say.
blind
to?
Hold on.
Fight,
I think what
fight,
James was trying to say was. Thank you
I
for.
want to you say these
Debbie
things,
gave
you
us
have
all the.
nothing to back it up with.
I didn't say those things.
I'm not
Stop
saying-
looking
I'm
at
not-
me.
How many times have we argued
I have
about Retina?
before. Anyway, pause.
What about it?
Hold on. We're gonna
Just
pick
the name
one thing.
Retina?
We're gonna pick one thing. Debbie's excited because she gave us all alcoholic drinks, and now she's just watching the world burn.
Speaking of,
And
Real?
yes, please. And Debbie made these lovely Seagram's gummies.
Wait, are these are secret
I-
games?
These are secret gems. Okay, hold on.
James
hold on,
loves
Sean.
collecting tons and tons of games and having physical
Yeah.
copies. I don't like that. I don't
That's
like
fine.
that at all.
No, it's fine.
I appreciate that he loves doing that. I don't care about that.
I think-
I like having, did we go, oh, I want to play Bloodborne? Cool, I'm done. I want to play GTA 5 right now. I like doing that in the Switch. Like,
I think what
millisecond. I love
James
that.
might be referring to is like you were talking about. You've got your Apple TV. You buy your stuff on iTunes. You play it through your Apple TV. You
Yeah.
can open it on all your iDevices. It's a good ecosystem, but it is a very narrow ecosystem.
I know
except for the
that.
fact that they're the
I know
biggest.
it is. But here's
I'm
the
not.
I own tons
fussing
of
at you
movies
for
on
it.
it, so it's like, I don't want to change right now. It's like, I do have an iPhone. I have a MacBook Air. I have an Apple TV. So it's like, I enjoy the ecosystem. I like the way they present it, the way it's aesthetically made, how quick and snappy it is.
That's-
I enjoy it. I'm done. I don't want to do anything else. I'm like, why change right now? It's not that different, cost effective, and
Right.
I don't. Yeah,
Well, no,
there's
there's nothing wrong with that. But James and I are on the side of we would rather have not open source. I'd rather have my movies in a format that if
I
I,
would love
move
that
to a
too.
Roku,
I would love that too. I'm just saying I
or
don't
move
have
to
a
a
problem with
Chromecast.
it. I would enjoy that. I think that'd be an amazing feature. I was really happy when iTunes went to DRM free.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't use any of the songs for doing editings for any projects or weddings.
That
I had to
wasn't
buy it on
gonna be on
Amazon.
that part.
Always had to buy it on Amazon. Now I don't have to. I usually do Amazon anyways because I keep it separate for all my stuff I purchase for.
Although the
weddings
stuff
and
you buy from iTunes Store is not automatically.
no,
You
It is
have
now?
to you have to
No.
convert it to play it in something.
Huh. No.
Like what?
You can. I just pop it right into Vegas. It works.
Okay, it used to be that you had to get the extra like.
What kind of file format does it come down in?
I don't remember what it is. I just pop
Is
it
it
into Vegas and
M4A
works.
still? Because those are
Yeah.
It might be
That-
that. It might be
that's
that or
not-
that has to play-
AIF.
right.
AIF.
Those are Apple files. If
It,
you want to
well, it
use
works
it,
in Sony Vegas. I don't know. I just pop it right in.
it works in Sony Vegas because you have like QuickTime installed, which has
Oh.
the codec necessary.
I'm just saying. Well, I
It's
couldn't
not
do
a
that
true.
before. It
It's not
wouldn't
a
let me do that
universal
before.
format like MP3 or
Yeah.
JPEG. Formats that
Yeah.
everything can play.
Or like Wave or something like
Yeah,
that.
which is something that like, what Dave?
I'm just enjoying this.
Oh,
Let's carry on.
which is something that we're saying like real free and open platforms like Amazon gives you MP3s, which everything will play. Apple stuff will
Yeah.
play them. Everything will play MP3s. It's saying Apple has gotten better. They're offering more DRM free
Yeah, of
stuff,
course.
but it's still not. They still will expect you to stay within their ecosystem, which still does mean if they ever did shut down, all your stuff will go away. Which you said you're okay with.
Yeah, like I know what
And
I'm
you're
getting.
just
into.
hedging your
I know what I'm
bets.
getting into. I'm not like too worried. Like
When
if
I buy
lose
something
those,
from
yeah.
Apple, like if I buy something from the iTunes Store,
Yeah.
music wise, I immediately convert it because I don't
Yeah.
want to take the risk of whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I put it on something that it can play.
Yeah.
Like my car has a little thumb drive. It does have the iPod connection, but I don't have an iPod or
Yeah.
an iPhone. But I have a thumb drive that I have
Yeah.
all my MP3s on.
Yeah.
It won't play the M4A format.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
Yeah.
That-
Well, then it makes sense for you not to do that. I mean, like if I had a car and I first started with that, and I like, oh, it's not
you
working.
don't have a car.
I'm saying like, if I didn't have the like the audio player that didn't work with my iPhone
Apple
or
doesn't
anything,
sell them.
I don't have any of that. I just plug connected via auxiliary cable.
Yeah.
So I'm used to that. So it's like I think if I got a whole brand new system, started brand fresh new, but it's like I've got a lot of songs. I just press a button. I have all my songs left. But I don't listen to a lot.
Right.
Like I listen to a lot of the same albums over and over again. I just enjoy.
You're still
small
hedging your bets on though. Like your system still involves Apple servers always have to be available.
But I'm
everything
hedging on
has
the
to be
bet
available.
that they're going to have a much longer term service than maybe
They probably are.
a generic, just cool device that comes out. But if it doesn't,
If I was
do
going to
well,
bet on
okay,
someone's
it's done.
service being
Yeah.
available for a long time,
Yeah.
I would bet on Steam.
Yeah.
I would bet on.
But it doesn't
Apple.
mean I wouldn't change away from it if they're going down. I'm going to get something else. Like
Well, but my point is that digital in general, though, they've just got this crazy risk anytime you buy something now. Like I buy, an app from the Amazon App Store. If I log into my other one, it will just not. It won't open because it's authenticating to open the program.
wait, what?
I got some games that I bought from a different Amazon account, and I switched
Yeah.
when I got them in Prime. Now those apps won't launch,
Oh, that sucks.
like because it's authenticating
Yeah.
before it's launching.
So the takeaway from all this, wrapped on the OnLive thing, we talked about everything else much more than OnLive in this. But OnLive, it's just an example of what happens if you buy anything on some new startup service or whatever, some fancy new digital only thing.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that you are not guaranteed or promised anything. It can go away, and as a consumer, it's up to you to do your due diligence before you give anyone money. In the same way that just because you kickstart some game does not mean the developer is going to owe you a finished copy, because that's just not how that works, and you are essentially throwing your money away on a gamble. And stuff like OnLive is exactly the same way. So if you're excited about stuff like game streaming, the smart thing to do is just to wait it out.
Well, game streaming is different than buying full games.
Yeah.
Like if they had a streaming.
But what
service,
does
they-
buying full games really mean anymore? Like, it's all digitally downloaded and delivered to you anyway. Like,
Right. But you have that again. There's that expectation of ownership, which
Yeah.
you don't really have ownership.
but I can take my disc down at GameStop and get some money.
You're contractually licensed when you
Yeah.
buy any kind of game, even if you buy a physical copy. But with a physical copy, at least you, like you said, you can take it. into
Question: would you
GameStop.
rather have Friends, all the DVDs, or always on Netflix and it never goes away?
Well,
you know, if you
here's the
think
thing.
about
I live in a place
Yeah.
with really good internet access, and I have lots of devices I can watch it on, so I would say I want it all on
Yeah.
Netflix. But if I'm thinking, like, what do I want in my apocalypse bunker? It would be DVDs. Like,
Oh, Friends.
hey, there's a lot of episodes.
you know-
But the thing is, like, it's easy for me to say I live in an area with great internet access.
Yeah.
I have lots of devices. Like,
You're paying
life's
for
pretty good
service
for
of it,
me.
you know?
Let's just have it all on Netflix. But then, what happens if all that goes away? What happens if I need to move somewhere where I don't have good internet, I don't have all this? Now, in the grand scheme of things, who cares if I can't watch
Yeah.
Friends? But,
Or if they decide to take it off. I mean, it has
no, actually, it was a one-time
Yeah.
purchase on
What's that?
Netflix. Netflix, it was a one-time purchase for Friends.
Oh, wow.
It was like $120 million.
The thing I
His
was just thinking,
Battlestar was there and gone.
There and gone.
Sad.
Which, where's that being aired? Is Sci-Fi just whoring it out again? Look, remember that one good show we made that one time?
It's still here.
I was gonna say, like,
Hey,
not
we're
only
again.
just paying for Netflix to watch digitally, is it can do a lot of things that the DVDs can't, like play immediately the next one. Oh, next season you don't have to swap disc at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that is a little
There's
bit of
convenience.
service. You know, it's like that. For me, I'd say that's a nice service. That's
But
the same-
you are sacrificing something.
Yeah,
like for me,
exactly.
I have
Yeah.
I have
Video
Netflix.
Yeah.
I have Cosmos on Netflix. I bought it on Blu-ray because
Yeah.
it's
Quality.
something that I'm gonna want for years, and it
Yeah.
looks and sounds significant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Same thing
yeah.
like
yeah.
for music. I've got Spotify. I can listen to whatever I want. But for albums I really want, I want them in FLAC or WAV or something. So when I'm like listening to music for enjoyment with my headphones amped and everything, it's the Blu-ray version. It's like the Blu-ray version of the music. You know, it's as good as possible. When I'm casually listening to something, sure, Spotify's fine. Same with Netflix. Netflix is fine for casually watching something. If I really want a cinema-like experience, I want Blu-ray. Because
Yeah.
the quality it's just no comparison.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, like
If I really want,
I'm
like, if I'm
bunch-
just
yeah.
casually playing games, PlayStation 4 is fine. If
Yeah.
I really want a game,
It's like a PC. I mean, if you want a casual experience, you get an Apple. Or if you, I'm just kidding.
Or you get a
Apple, filthy
console.
casual.
with fat pockets.
Ooh.
All right, so now can we move on?
sure.
All right, cool. Now time for the news.
News time.
Whoa.
That was a little off key this week.
Whoa.
No, I
You
was.
have to fix it in a
Joel.
desk.
Joel.
News time.
Joel, I have good news for you.
Ooh.
Star Wars Battlefront will be. Stop reading over my shoulder. Look at
I
James.
was looking at the GTA.
Look at James.
Okay, I was looking at James.
I'm looking at James too now, actually.
Star Wars Battlefront will be unveiled to the world in all its glory at the Star Wars Celebration. The Star Wars Celebration, Joel, are you familiar with this?
I
You're
was
just
listening
watching
to-
Dave play his nipples.
Say it again. Say it again. Because you told me to look at James.
Just look
So
at
naturally,
him.
we were playing with our nipples. Okay, say it again.
Okay,
Sorry.
the Star Wars Celebration is April 16th through 19th.
Yes.
Yes. What is that for anyone who doesn't know?
Just a big Star Wars event. I think they have it every couple of years, and they're doing a lot of awesome Star Wars stuff because there's a new Star Wars movie coming out.
Okay, so Star Wars Battlefront is going to be shown there. It's also going to be playable there in three to 4 hour playtest sessions. They're looking for playtesters
Yeah.
at its Redwood Shores location in California. Electronic Arts' Redwood Shores location, and at their Burnaby campus in British Columbia.
And at the Outer Banks this weekend.
You'll have to decide a non-disclosure agreement if you want to participate, and you get to play Battlefront for a few straight hours.
That's a good test.
Dang.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel good deep down.
Actually, I think that's a good sign.
I
That,
think I had
that,
the word inside at the end there.
that game must be
What?
pretty.
You feel good deep down. Inside.
That game, it must be pretty.
I'm cured.
What on earth?
It's a medical miracle.
All you use more Star Wars.
It must be decently playable. If they're confident enough, they're going to let you play it for several hours.
Oh,
That must
yeah.
be. You think it's just going to be like one map? That would suck.
One map.
I guess I wouldn't jump to that far because I mean they did allow people
I would
playing
say-
Battlefield 4 really early into beta and
I'm gonna
other
guess
games,
three.
but
3 styles.
What, like game
Yourself?
modes or something?
Like different, like
characters or
no, like 3 maps with like different like types of missions.
I'm gonna say one map, but who knows?
Maybe I'm going to say. I don't know why we're even making bets here, but I'm going to say one map with one game mode and a second map with a second game mode, and that'll be it.
Oh man.
Debbie's making drinks that are very close to spilling next to all these computers.
I look dangerously.
Dave's can handle it.
I want to have a drink.
He won't be able to get up over the bumpers into the heat
I don't
sinks.
know what I was doing one night. I was so tired.
Stilts.
I had a can of soda that was sitting on my desk in between two hard drives that are master and backup of Norman. I'm like, why did I just do that?
My question is, why are the master and backup drives even in the same room?
Well, yeah. Well, now they're not anymore. So, but they were.
Problem solved.
That was a long time ago. A long time ago.
Don't die. Breathe.
I'm good.
Don't inhale.
What did you put in that?
It's this drink you made me, woman.
The devil's drink.
Satan juice.
She's a witch.
Pick
All right.
over there. Wait,
mean,
scoot up closer. I can't see.
I forgot that my left hand had this.
Dave has just pulled out an 8 gigabyte Express Card SSD out of the Express Card slot of his laptop, which all of you young kids will have no idea what that is.
I was like, where's this thing sticking out of my laptop? Like, what's this weird drive over here?
It's funny.
The better question is, what's on it?
You have like a 64 gig in
James
the back of
is
yours.
pulling out his SD card.
Oh, yeah, baby.
From his phone. Pull it out.
Whip it
Oh,
out.
they're oh. You have a little bit
I
of
don't have
trouble.
fingernails, I
Having a
can't
little bit of
open
trouble.
Gotta remember how to do it.
Oh, this looks really good,
Copyright
guys.
Nexar Media
Okay,
2007.
that thing right there is a 64 gig micro
Yeah,
SD
so like
card.
a tiny fingernail size compared to Dave's like giant thumb drive.
Listen, I'm gonna put it back into the. Oh my gosh.
What is it?
Wait.
It's the size of a debit card
This actually has.
compared to a fingernail.
The actual slot is
This is
twice as
nice.
wide as this
Like
card.
that.
Yeah, because that's a
You guys-
micro
No,
Express
I need to replace
slot
it. Yeah,
something.
that is nice.
There was bigger Express Card things.
Yeah, it has a bigger express card. You can do like a video card or like a sound card.
All kinds of cool add-ons.
Listen to the sound it makes when you
But
put it
wait,
back
there's
into your
more.
computer.
There's a clicking noise for everyone who couldn't hear that, which is everything.
I have kind of a nerdy story just about popping in thumb drives and things like that.
I am riveted.
He's not even trying to word that differently.
Well, that's I don't know. That's the way I could say it. I used to, like
That's the way I say stuff.
Can you tell us about your dongle?
Tell us where you put your thumb drive.
as a kid, like I always thought like putting in like those little SD cards, like snapping them in, I felt like I was like loading a gun. Like it was like yeah, I don't know. I always thought it was. I used to do that for like a long time.
Boy,
Yeah,
Joel,
that's
you know,
really-
Yeah, it's really
See, I grew up in a
dumb.
family where like we could just load the guns and then shoot them and stuff.
I don't know why. I just always had like or a CD drive that popped out. Like I love just putting a CD
just
and
felt
closing
cool?
it. Yeah.
I know what you mean. There was I loading the batteries in the bottom of drills. I thought it was really fun.
It's like the exact opposite. You're like filling it up as opposed to like cleaning it. Well, next one.
So anyway, Elite Dangerous, which is not Star Citizen, but it's out earlier, so lots of people are playing it. It's another space sim type game, and you could pre-order it. Like I guess it was Kickstarted early access type thing. It wasn't.
I actually own the game.
It wasn't.
I own the game.
You
own
Elite
it?
Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
How many games do you buy?
You guys own a lot of games too. It worked with VR. Right?
Okay,
Trying to-
gotcha.
but it like is a pain in the ass. It could barely run it. Like I mean, you need to have a beefed up computer to run
Okay.
it in VR.
Well, when you
Even
bought
at
it, when you
launch,
bought it,
you
it wasn't
have-
launched yet. It's probably a lot
Dave-
better.
Yeah,
now.
I haven't tried it after.
Because Jeff,
Force.
Sudak,
yeah.
Sudak is running it on a
Yeah.
GTX 680, no problem. So
So you guys would, if you're welcome to, I'll give you the code
okay,
if you
sure.
want to play it.
Well, anyway, so
The code is
so Elite Dangerous is now on Steam. You can buy it on Steam, but Frontier Developments, which is the developers, they say currently they have no plans to give Steam keys to those gamers who have already purchased it. This sounds awfully reminiscent of our OnLive conversation. So you can buy it directly through them. That's how they've been selling it for $60. But now you can buy it on Steam, which a lot of people like Steam because your collection goes with you, blah blah blah. Everything's in one place,
Or it goes down with the ship quickly.
or it goes down the ship. But they're saying they are not going to give people who already own the Steam or their version. They're not going to give them a Steam version.
They're probably worried about people gifting it, maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
No, you
if-
can't gift it once it's in your library. Oh, but if they give you the code to redeem it,
Right.
maybe you
Yeah.
can gift it. Yeah. But they say there's no functional difference between the two versions, and they say you should just add the original version to your Steam library as a non-Steam game, which is
I think it's fine. I mean,
You can add
why
Microsoft
why do they
Word
have
as a
to-
non-Steam
Why do they
game.
have to give you a Steam key? Yes, that's nice. That'd be awesome.
Well, because
but what
they-
about GOG? Does GOG give you a copy of Fallout 1 and then they give it on Steam? No, they
for
don't.
all their games that are developed by like the people CD Projekt Red owns GOG or has a stake in it.
So if you buy
Like for the Witcher games that you own on GOG, they give you a Steam key. Yeah.
So you can install it as DRM. So that means Dave could buy one copy, give it to me, and then use the Steam key and install it.
No, I think they authenticate it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
could.
like Humble Bundle, you have to log into your account.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that hard to do.
Something
You
like that.
log into your Steam account. They give you the
but
key.
that's nice. That's great.
Yeah, it's
They don't
nice.
have to.
Well, so that's. I'm just curious. It's just a news item. It's not like I'm not taking a position
No, I know
on it,
that.
but it's interesting. They just all of a sudden it was on Steam, and they're not giving anyone Steam keys. Like it just appeared, and
Yeah.
you can
But
now just
I'd
buy
say
it. on
a lot of
Steam.
games
So would you
do
buy it from Frontier Development? Well, you already did.
Yeah.
Would you buy it from Frontier Developments if you're doing it again, or would you buy it on Steam
I would probably buy it on Steam because
because of the convenience?
of the convenience. Yeah. Keep
Would
it
you
on
feel
Steam
cheated
together.
if you already owned it, and
I do own it. I don't feel cheated.
you don't? Well, you. That's true.
They haven't given me a key. I don't really.
Well, you can't feel that cheated. You must not play it that much. I never even knew you owned it.
Well, I had a really hard time running it on my computer, and it's really
of VR?
crappy with a mouse and keyboard. Honestly,
We're gonna get you an
And it's made for
R9 290.
like
Don't worry, buddy.
the twin joystick type setup.
What is this game?
It's like
Oh,
a space
give me
simulator
one.
kind of game.
You
Kind of
like-
the game that Star Citizen.
Star Citizen.
It's like that, a little bit like that.
I don't know what Star Citizen is.
Okay, it's
It's
really
a big
cool.
like frontier.
I'll show you
space
some
game.
stuff about it later. We won't get it on the podcast, but it looks like it's going to be, if it comes out and is what they're promising, Star Citizen could be like the definition of a PC exclusive world class experience. Like imagine the world of Star Trek, but cool.
Star Trek is cool.
Okay. So imagine, all right, so the idea of Star Citizen is imagine like you are a trader, you trader, not traitor.
She's a traitor.
Where like, you make pickup runs and stuff, you ferry things back and forth between
See the
planets.
layers.
You jump into one galaxy and there's a giant space battle going on around some port. So you participate in the space battle, your ship gets crashed, like it gets wrecked, you crash land onto the deck of another ship, you hop off and then start fighting people in the halls, and all those people are real people playing online. Does that sound like something you might be interested in?
200%.
Can't you be like a trader or like a pirate or like a military officer?
You can be all kinds of different stuff. In theory, it's the game's
Hey,
not out
you can
yet.
be a cop in space with little red and blue.
Pull the vehicle over, down, up. I don't know. Just stop.
Can you stop in space?
How would your sirens go off?
Oh, you aim a laser beam of sound. A laser beam of sound.
Does that work?
Well, it's light, but it's sound.
It uses quantum audio.
High
HD.
definition audio.
Anyway, okay. Next news item: Slightly Mad Studios. They are the developers behind Project Cars, which should be releasing very soon, and I'm very excited about it. They have announced a thank you for everyone's patience as they have kickstarted this game and gone through development. They're going to be offering free cars to Project Cars every month when it releases in a month.
Free car park at your house.
The
Really happy.
the first free car is the Lycan Hypersport. For anyone who watched Furious 7, which you should because it was awesome. The Lycan Hypersport is the car that Vin Diesel drives between 3 skyscrapers.
Spoiler.
It can hit
alert.
60 miles an hour in less than 2.8 seconds, has a reported top speed of 239 miles per hour, and has diamonds
Wait,
in its headlights.
That's a real car?
Yeah, the Lycan Hypersport.
Did he really drive it between?
It's a real
Debbie,
car.
you watched the movie.
No, but did that
No,
happen in real
they didn't
life?
drive it in between 2 skyscrapers.
It's likely.
The booze has spoken.
Way the odds.
Is it? All right, Debbie. You have a skyscraper. It's 50 feet away is another skyscraper. You're saying he accelerates, drives through
How fast does he have to go? If it goes to 0 to 60, and how fast do you say
2.8
it does?
seconds. All right, let's say he's going 60 miles an hour. Those
Okay.
windows are not plate glass. Let's say he can drive through that window. He flies through the air and hits another window, goes through it at the right level to go onto the floor instead of
Yeah, my
smashing
question
into just
What are the odds of hitting in between enough to actually get into a floor? And what are the odds of hitting a support pillar, supporting pillar on the
When Vin
side?
Diesel's driving,
Dave,
no.
ride or die, ride or die.
Die!
You know what I think is crazy is in that sequence, I can see it happening once, but they drive through the middle skyscraper. It's like, we got to get away. Better do that again.
Roll that die.
Better flip the middle finger to fate and go for number 3. Anyway, the Lycan Hypersport costs $3.4 million plus freight and taxes,
Oh no.
Yeah, they do that.
which is the price of a 148 Chevy Malibus. What could you have more fun with?
I want a bigger computer.
How many glasses of wine in are you?
Who wants a bigger computer?
I guess Debbie has her catchphrase now. It's likely.
Don't you want a better computer, not a bigger computer?
Can people fly? It's likely.
Will Daisy be out this fall? It's likely.
It's not even that fast. I mean,
239 miles per hour. It's not really that fast.
It's $3.4 million.
It's not about being the fastest for 3.4 million. All right, the Bugatti Veyron is faster, but it looks like an upside down dead whale.
Yeah, but
The Lycan
I
Hypersport
didn't
looks
see
like
this.
sexual energy. And it must be light because Vin Diesel picked it up.
This podcast has got real.
It's the booze kiss.
that's nice.
That must have caught.
Don't listen.
That's a hideous
Don't
car.
listen
The
to
Bugatti
him.
Veyron is an amazing technological achievement, but
That's
it
his
is
side
fugly.
view of that. Tasteful side
Fun
view.
and ugly.
Fugly.
I got
You want to see a side wheel?
Side wheel, yeah.
Tasteful side wheel.
Sometimes I can have a funny.
So we're just going to take a break from the podcast and Google
Okay,
images
the
of the
side.
Bugatti. Dude, that's an ugly car, isn't it?
It's very fat looking.
It is. It's very fat. It's like 4,300 pounds. It's like a minivan with 1,000 horsepower.
If the front just went straight down, but it kind of goes and then again, I don't know, I don't like
It's
it.
called a windshield.
I think it'd be cool if it was like, I don't know.
Well, look. Have you seen the Lycan Hypersport except for in the movie?
Okay, what car is that?
It's the same one.
It is. But what happened? That doesn't have the little scoop things on the back, a little air.
Are we still podcasting?
Yeah, we're podcasting.
Oh,
We're taking an important break to look at pictures.
if you're listening up with us
Yeah,
right now,
we're-
go ahead and Google whatever.
Joel,
If you're listening
Joel, look at
now,
this.
How
That
the hell
car.
are you doing that?
That car.
Oh yeah, no,
That car's sexy. That car's sexy.
That car's pure sex.
Would you really be driving along at 239 miles an hour going, I mean, this is okay, but, you know, if it had like an extra 20 miles per hour, that might be nice. Or would you be sitting there
All right,
going,
this
there's a
is
lot of
nice.
urine in my seat.
No way, they have a dream for that.
This reminds me of the Imperial Guards and
No one can say this.
I can't even see it, so I can't laugh.
Just imagine.
Sorry, Debbie.
Imagination.
Sorry.
All right.
I'm not.
All right, what's the next thing?
It's now time. We have a potato masher
That's not the
teaser.
right one.
We have a teaser.
Potato masher teaser.
Exciting things are coming for the potato masher.
Again.
Again.
I
We
thought
have,
that we just play the video this time. I'm just kidding.
we are going to be buying a Elgato HD 60, which is the 60 FPS version of our Elgato HD that we're using for game capture. We've gotten so many requests. When we first did it, we thought 30 FPS would probably be fine. But a lot of people are actually really interested in the 60 FPS versus 30 FPS stuff. Now
Interested or pissed off?
No, interesting. Because now that YouTube supports
Is it
60
interesting?
FPS
Yeah, because I mean,
video.
like the new Borderlands game, you couldn't show the 60 FPS on the PS4, right?
So because YouTube now supports 60 FPS, it's a lot easier to show differences like that, and the footage looks really good. So we are going to upgrade our Elgato using Patreon money. Thank you guys for supporting us.
Oh, yeah.
And it won't be that expensive an upgrade because we can sell the old one. Like it's not going to cost us too much. But we're going to be upgrading to the HD60, and the first game we are going to be testing with the HD60 is going to be Grand Theft Auto 5,
Yeah.
which is coming out the Tuesday after we get home from vacation. Now that's going to be next week. When you're hearing this, it's coming out next Tuesday. But we are not going to have the video next Thursday on the podcast. We're going to wait one additional week.
Because we're going to be too busy playing it.
Probably. But I want this video to be really good. So instead of, it's not going to be on the 16th, which is next Thursday, it's going to be the 23rd of April. Our plan is we're going to have the Grand Theft Auto 5 video. This is significant because there are two games that the haters and the excited people both reference nonstop about the Potato Masher. Is will it be able to play Grand Theft Auto 5 and will it be able to play The Witcher 3?
So should we put our bets on here right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you think it's gonna run well?
Not.
What-
will it
what
run
do you
well
think
is very
specs?
subjective. Yeah, let's go around and let's say what do you think it'll be able to do comfortably. Hold on, let me.
Okay,
I'm gonna write it
This is
down.
GTA 5.
This is for
Yeah.
GTA 5 on the
On the
Potato
Potato
Masher.
Masher.
We'll start with Dave and we'll go around.
I'm going to put my bets on the Potato Masher.
3 resolutions, 2 frame rates per resolution. So
Whoa.
1080p 30 FPS, 1080p 60 FPS. If you think you can do 60, just say 1080p 60, yes. 1440p 60, yes.
Okay,
4K
I was
30.
like two
Sorry.
FPS. Like,
And then we're saying, are we talking ultra?
Why don't,
No, just on any settings. What do you think it's going to be able to do?
why don't you just announce it, then we'll say yes and no.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
let's say 1080p, very high because that's the scale we use.
Yeah.
60 FPS.
yes.
Okay. Dave is yes.
I'm gonna say yes, but I think it's gonna dip.
Now,
Quite a bit.
very high does not mean absolute max anti-aliasing. I normally run 2 or 4. Whatever makes sense for.
I say it's got to
performance.
have at least 2.
Okay.
2x.
It does. Or FXAA, which
Because
is
I think
about
if you can't
equivalent.
do 2x, then it just sucks.
Well, I might just do FXAA, which is
Just like
about
a
equivalent.
console.
Well, I mean, it's got to have something on there.
Okay, so James is a yes. Yes with dips.
Yes, it's gonna. I think it'll dip as much. 50.
Okay.
I'm going to say 45 to 60. Like, it's,
Okay.
60
Variable.
in small areas. Yeah, like
Joel was variable.
variable, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say.
I actually don't
yes.
even think very high.
Okay, so no.
I'd say high.
Okay. Well, then let's take it off. Okay.
What?
Debbie.
I'm with James. Yes with dips.
Okay.
Straight digits.
Dip,
Okay.
dip,
Dip in waffle.
Okay, I remember that. Okay, 1440p, let's say medium, 60 FPS.
I think it's gonna with that graphics card. I'm gonna say it's gonna have around 40 or so. Other settings.
I'm gonna say no.
Playable.
No to 60.
Yeah.
Yes to 30.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
you agree?
Yeah.
Also.
Just consensus around the table. The podcast is spoken.
We don't agree.
I'm gonna say medium 60 FPS because I'm an optimist. All right,
Hipster.
4K, very low,
Very low.
very low, 60
Oh.
FPS. Dave,
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Come on, Optimus.
everyone know. I'm gonna say no as well. I don't think it'll be able to play it at 4K. It doesn't
What
matter
about
what
30?
setting. On 30. All right, let's go around and say
I think
30.
it's gonna be like 22 to 30.
Anyone think 30 FPS?
At
4K?
4K.
I think it's possible. I really do think it's possible.
Very low.
That's.
If the Xbox,
25.
I don't know. I don't believe it's gonna run like amazing.
Joel, if the Xbox, I'm trying to like scale it up. So if the 360 can run it on the equivalent of like lower than very low at like what was it, like 702p, scaling up, like it's possible.
It's
On
it-
video, but
it's,
it's
it's
not
just that
running
they're-
half the stuff
playing
that
a
the
game on a
PS4
console is
runs.
completely different than doing on PC. Like I know this generation is a lot closer, but still the way they develop it, still the way they're like gotta make for Nvidia for the rest of the cards. I think it's gonna be huge.
But they delayed it like months to get it.
I know.
right.
Well,
Hopefully.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, Joel, I'm saying like the scale doesn't just match.
It
that
should. Like in
4K.
theory, I
It
think.
goes so
Okay,
far over.
here's in theory, like from what a PS4 can do on it, like or just even an Xbox 360
Exactly.
play it. They played it pretty well for what it was back at the time, right? I think the Potato Masher should be able to play it easily at 4K 60 FPS. Like when you look at an Xbox 360 playing it,
If it
easily,
can use the
If you
same-
play, if you play
No,
the
no, not
Xbox
Ultra.
360 version,
Right.
you took out all the individual
But
grass
we're saying
blades.
like
no, but I'm just saying like
Well, that's-
compare
that's
it
not-
because
that's
it's
not
like
Because the PC version very low is probably not
it has
going to be that crappy.
512 megabytes of RAM.
I know.
But you're-
Joel, what we're saying is the lowest settings on the PC.
I know. It still has a lot
Are-
more. I understand.
are
that.
way higher.
Even very low or medium, it should be 60 FPS at 4K. That's what I
think so.
expect. But it's just,
Okay.
that's not how PC development is. It doesn't
Well,
work like that.
If it was the Xbox 360,
Yeah.
well, here's a good example.
You
Okay.
compare X. Okay, you can. It's got so much more crap in it.
Well, no,
It's got
no.
more
it's got-
No, I understand what
It's got
Joel's. I understand what Joel's saying. So, like, when you can emulate a PS2 game, you can emulate a PS2 and play a PS2 game, and you can scale up the resolution to render it to higher resolutions. So, I think Joel's saying if you could pop the 360 disc in and play it on your computer, you could scale that version up, textures
Yeah.
and everything intact to 4K, like
Yeah,
60 FPS.
I'm just like if you
Yeah,
look at,
but
you know,
that's-
I'm saying
that's
if you look at a
different.
system
Yeah.
like running at 512 megabytes of RAM, like a piece of crap, the Potato Masher is like 12 times as fast as that thing, right? I'm just saying like I feel like it should theoretically like run a game freaking well, but I'm just saying PC development just never generally like it.
No
It's like,
game development's
because
that nice.
a console
Well-
does have a slightly better edge when it comes
Well, no,
to just like optimizing for that system.
Actually,
for
no,
some
Joel.
stuff, for some
If you
stuff.
look at like the PS4 version versus the PS3 version, the PS4 is how many more times more powerful than the PS3?
Yeah.
The PS4 version of Grand Theft Auto 5 is not that much better. It's way better than the PS3 version, but
it
It
has
has a lot more going
it's
on.
not
Yeah, it does have
5
a lot
times
more.
better. You know,
yeah,
it's,
I would say so. Yeah.
because it still doesn't have
But
much
I know, but I'm saying
anti-aliasing.
PC is like
the frame rate
way
still
beyond that,
dips.
though.
Like the textures are better, the models are better, but but it's not that.
Like I would expect that that GTA 5 would run ridiculously well on Dave's computer. Like if it doesn't, like it just
given their minimum specs, the recommended
suck.
specs is a GTX 660 Ti. So
Good.
I know they say that, but like
Good.
I think that's bullcrap until you.
they usually are. But,
Yeah,
I'm saying,
yeah.
but if the recommended specs are like a 980,
Yeah.
you'd be a little worried.
Yeah.
The 660 Ti, you're like, okay,
I'm still
that's
worried just
pretty
because
good.
like other than like a game like Tomb Raider and Borderlands, like it ran phenomenally well on PC. Like you just pop it in, runs super well. You know what I mean? I don't know, just like some of these games.
But if you look at Watch Dogs, it had the same launch window,
yeah,
essentially, as the consoles.
yeah,
That's why it did so poorly. Rockstar spent
yeah. I
an
hope
extra
so. I
year
hope so.
and then even pushed it back even further.
If you look
Yeah.
at like Max Payne 3, Rockstar game developed on a
Yeah.
similar engine.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto,
I didn't
believe.
get the game on PC.
It
I
ran
rented it. I didn't,
awesome.
It was awesome
but
for
Dave
it.
said
Yeah.
it ran really
It
well.
ran
Yeah.
great.
I hope it runs like that.
60
like,
FPS.
because that means my computer's gonna run it really, really well. Then I'm excited.
So, who's planning on getting it day one if it launches smoothly? Like, no one's pre-ordered it here, right?
I'm waiting for reviews on that Monday. Is what I'm
Okay.
expecting.
You know
Debbie's
it's
getting
gonna
it.
be high.
Debbie, you can talk. You
What?
know.
You know it's going to be high reviews.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm getting
Well,
it.
I want performance reviews,
Right.
not game reviews.
And I'm going to be getting it definitely day one if it works.
I'll wait for a while because it's probably the online's gonna be slammed.
I'll wait till maybe the mods.
See, I'm
start
actually
coming
looking
in.
forward to online's fine, but I'm looking forward to playing the story
Yeah,
again
because you
with the
guys
mouse
haven't
and
played it.
keyboard.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
gonna
played the
play
story.
I'm not gonna play the campaign.
I played the
yet.
story.
Oh,
I want to play it with mouse and keyboard because that's like the shooting still in Grand Theft Auto frustrates me enough that
Yeah.
like 5 was the best of the series, but a mouse and keyboard is still going to be so much better to play that with.
Yeah, go for
so I want to
Still
play the
playing
story
Bloodborne,
again.
so.
I'll wait until the mods maybe come out.
Okay.
And play it again. 'Cause I've already bought it
yeah.
twice.
And,
Debbie,
and Dark Souls
you're
2
being
is
true
coming out
friends.
this week.
What?
So as soon
You
as
guys are
Bloodborne's done,
true
I'll probably be
friends.
playing Dark Souls 2.
All right, so April 23rd, that's the plan. Grand Theft Auto 5 video. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be long, probably.
It's going to be a doozy.
A doozy. All right, it is now time for mail time.
Holy crap.
What?
You go through these, like...
I'm a big boy, Debbie.
It's been a while. We've been podcasting.
The fat holds a lot of
I've
alcohol.
made 2 drinks and you drank them both in the past...
Because
like,
they're
two years.
delicious.
Well, that's different.
I warned you, they taste delicious. I keep
I'm an
drinking
alcoholic.
them.
It's different.
I'll need to make them stronger so you slow them.
That's not how that works.
Alright.
Alright, what's
All right, mail time.
mail time?
You can write into the show at what, James?
casualshenanigans@gmail.com.
You think the mic could hear that, James?
casualshenanigans@gmail.com.
That's better. You can write in to be a part of the show, like Dan. Dan wrote in and said, "I'm a little late catching up on old episodes. All's forgiven, Dan. You didn't tell us, we wouldn't have known. Finally got around to listening to your Potato Masher podcast. I thought I'd give a little feedback, which I understand you've already gotten plenty of. You could say that." No, we haven't got a lot of feedback. We've gotten a lot of whining.
Whining?
Did somebody say wine?
Poor. Anyway, I offer this as an alternative suggestion, not as something that would perform better for the money, more as a response to those who say the build you put together is unrealistic for the reasons you mentioned. People who don't want to assemble a PC, don't have an OS license included automatically, you can't get older parts that cheap, blah, blah, blah. Basically, most of the flack around the Potato Masher has been people, it's like been a couple camps, people who believe we were lying about the price we got everything for because when
Because
they...
it is very, very hard to find some of those parts.
No, it actually isn't. But when people Google it, the first results are like that one store that's selling brand new i5s for $200. Like, you can't buy this for $200. And then in 30 seconds, you just Google on Amazon, i5 750. The first link has it used for $50. Like, none of this stuff was that hard to find.
What did
But
I find,
people who
the
are
other day, like a little, is it Acer?
Yeah, yeah.
It was a little Acer tower with an i3 in it for like $150 on a 4-hour sale at Best
Yeah.
Buy. Like you could literally make a little potato masher for like $300.
The only thing I would say nowadays people could not get for the same price we did was the GTX 760. The reason being,
But that's overkill. Anyway.
the GTX 900 series came out. The
Yeah.
prices of the 760 went up because they were no longer making them. So that's just like you can't find it for that price anymore
Yeah.
because stock changed. That's the only reason. You can get you can get a GPU that performs the same for the same amount of money, no problem. But so anyway, back to Dan's email. He says older retired professional workstations can make a good base for a gaming PC.
I agree.
Sorry, continue.
There are several, but he picks the Dell T3500. It's similar in processor specs to the system you put together as an i5 and DDR3. Being a workstation, they typically have 400 to 500 watt power supplies of a little higher quality than like the crappy stuff you can get included in a cheap case or something. And they usually have the 6-pin PCI Express plug for higher end power graphics cards in there because they already have a graphics card. On the secondhand local market, there are a ton of different specs out there, but something in the quad-core variety with 4 to 8 gigs of DDR3 is in the ballpark of $200 to $250. That includes a Windows operating system, keyboard, and mouse. So that's a fully functioning computer with an i5 or similar, 4 to 8 gigs of RAM,
Cool.
Windows 7, the license,
Already put
keyboard and
together
mouse,
for you.
already put together for $200 to $250. So all you really need is make sure the power supply is okay and get a graphics card.
Dang.
And
You see this all the time.
they're not that hard to get. He
Off-lease
included
is
some
the way
links.
to go
Yeah, they're called
for
off lease. It's for
really
anyone
enjoying specking out parts for PC, like when I first got it.
for anyone who doesn't know what an off lease one is. Say like if you ever worked at a place that has a bunch of computers, they're usually Dells or HPs. They buy, a big corporation will buy 1,000 of them. They use them for 5 years. Then the budget says it's time to upgrade. So they sell them all and upgrade, unless you're Dave, in which case they pass you over and you put your own parts into your
A lot of
computer and cry.
governments do 3-year life cycles.
So they take those computers and they sell them off lease, which is what's called. So you could get like this Dell T3500. Dan sent us a link to. It is a buy it now on eBay right now. You can go buy this computer for $230 plus $35 shipping. It's a 2.66 gigahertz quad core Intel processor, 6 gigs of RAM, 200.
Which one?
It's a Xeon. I believe this one's a Xeon. And he included a link. Yeah, it's a Xeon. He included a link to the CPU boss comparison. It actually is a little bit better than the i5 750 we put in the Potato Masher, except you can't overclock it. But 6 gigs of RAM, 250 gig hard drive, Windows 7 Pro, $230, 266 shipped. You spend $100 for a graphics card, and
Like the Windows card costs $100.
but a graphics card is one of the easiest things you can possibly install on a computer.
Yeah.
So you do that, and you are good to go.
I find them all the time for like less than $200 for like a Core 2 Duo or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is still
I wouldn't do Core 2 Duo for a gaming computer anymore.
you can for Potato Masher.
For if you're doing like a $200 gaming computer, I'd buy a $100 one, like a $50 graphics card or something.
But I've seen them with i3s now.
Yeah, so you can't overclock this, and you can't upgrade it, which is a big thing. The Potato Masher, see, if we use it, say, for 5 years and it still works, when the next consoles come out, we don't have to rebuy the case and the power supply and a bunch of stuff. We can just buy, say, a new CPU, GPU, hard drive. We can buy 75% of the parts again or 50% of the parts again and get even more for the money, in theory. Now, I'm going to be swapping out the case for the Potato Masher at some point because Debbie...
It didn't do it for me, just for you.
That case is a rattly death demon. During every podcast, I'm keeping one foot on the side of the case to keep the rattles down. It's all the aluminum. The aluminum, I don't know what it is, dude. I've taken.
Just
You made a
duct
horrible
tape it
decision.
I think
together.
it's not going to affect the performance, so we're not going to count it against the Potato Masher. But I think I'm going to spend some of my own money and buy a smaller case with. And I'm going to take all the
I
fans
haven't
out.
taken my case.
Oh right. Yes, that's right.
This case is like a gigantic
You didn't bring it to me.
tomb.
They wouldn't fit in the car.
Gotta get the better shocks. Put them in the back of the car.
Trailer.
Dude,
I'm going to be
you can't
taking
get rid of
Dave.
your
Dave, what's your
office.
old case?
It's a Cooler Master Cosmos 1000, I believe.
It's like 75 pounds. Does it have casters?
It's 75 pounds heavy. It doesn't have casters. It has skids. It has skids like a utility.
You have to land it on water.
I'm gonna take all the fans off. I'm taking all the fans out. The Potato Masher's just gonna be warm.
It's got
I'm
a
fine
bubble
with
at the top
that.
for you to like get the crane in.
It's got soundproofing foam. If you take all the fans
Okay,
out of
all
it,
right.
you're gonna cook the components. And stuff.
As long as it doesn't rattle, that's fine. Yeah.
So heavy.
It beeps when you carry it. Like when you back up.
It
Sorry.
is. He wants to take all the fans out. He's gonna melt the computer. It's like we had the foam to it.
Yeah, but anyway.
Water cooled. Put it in the back.
That Dan, you're right. That's actually a pretty decent idea for anyone who doesn't want to build their own. I would still rather you learn how to build your own just because you can upgrade it in the future and stuff. But if you're looking to dip your toes into PC gaming and see if it's something you might like, yeah, buy some older pre-built desktop that's a couple years old, slap a decent graphics card in it, and you're good to go. Like, you don't have to reinstall Windows. You don't have to do any of that. Like, Joel, because you're a big proponent for consoles being that's like a one-click solution. You buy it, you plug it in, you can play stuff. Do you think that sounds doable? Like, all you have to do is buy a new graphics card and install it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I do that all the time now. Like, I could spec out a PC if I want to. Like, I wouldn't be able to know half as much as you guys know now. But yeah, like, the video
But
card's
you would consider, like,
video
buying
cards
a
very,
pre-built?
very easy nowadays.
Yeah, they are. Cool. All right.
I think the only thing that sucks is if you install a video card with your old video card driver.
Yeah, well, yeah, you gotta take the drivers off first.
That. But that can be really frustrating. Like, going, crap, did I do that? Because if you don't do it, then it's like you have to pull everything out again.
Now, speaking of which, when I recently
it'll
upgraded,
still work. I mean, something will work.
Yeah, kind of. But sometimes it updates with
in between massive
Never
blue
know.
screens, it'll work.
But no, I mean, once you don't have to pull the card out to
Yeah.
uninstall the drivers, you just uninstall the drivers and
Yeah.
reinstall the
Yeah.
drivers.
Now, I upgraded to a 4790K a couple weeks ago, and
How was it?
it's not bad. But everyone was saying on the internet, you'll have to reinstall Windows. You will have to, because you have Windows 8, it's going to see a new motherboard, it's going to say, nope, doesn't work, you got to install it. Absolutely not. Popped it in, booted it up, didn't even have to do a repair install. It booted straight into Windows. The only problems I've had was one of my memory sticks was a little bit loose, because this motherboard didn't have the clips on both sides of the memory slots. It had a clip on one side and just slotted into the other.
For convenience, apparently.
Right, it was 1 millimeter out, and I kept getting hard locks, and I thought it was my overclock. And I backed it down to stock settings, it was still doing it. And I just reseated the RAM, which is something I haven't had to do in 8 years. I reseated the RAM, and everything worked perfectly fine. It's been great since then.
I'm trying to remember when you guys inserted the CPU into my motherboard. Is it still? Wow.
Again, there's a million ways you could have said that.
What a million? Okay.
9 months later, little bites came out.
Why do you emphasize mine?
My L3 cache is growing.
Seriously, why emphasize mine? You inserted it into
When you start this,
When you guys inserted
all right, you asked me to give you another way I could say that. When you guys installed my processor. Yeah.
Well, okay. If you just said you guys installed my processor into my motherboard, that would still kind of sound a little sexy.
Well, when you giggle, sexy.
You guys are the one that giggled first. I didn't laugh.
When you guys seated my motherboard,
You guys genuinely seated my motherboard.
When you reseated your RAM and
I
the
was just saying,
slot.
have they made it any easier?
first you lubricated it a little bit. So it would,
Yes, it's got
Taste
easier.
around?
What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, for people who are nervous of installing, doing their own computers, just know that part, when you're installing a CPU that costs $400, or if you buy a really, really nice one, I hate that part. You're
it's
just
really
like,
hard.
I know, it's not that hard, but you feel like you're just gonna destroy the CPU.
Because you're pushing the
Yeah.
clamp down so hard,
Oh
and
my
the
gosh, your
motherboard
fingers
starts
hurt
creaking.
so much.
That's the bad part. When the motherboard starts
When
creaking.
there's no support under the bottom of the motherboard, you're just like, holy crap, the motherboard's just gonna crack in half.
Support.
I
No,
mean,
on some of them there isn't. There's nothing right in between.
There's a dead zone around the CPU where there's
Yeah,
there's
it flexes.
Like some motherboards, you can on the bottom, you can actually put a finger through and whatever.
You just,
You have to make the motion, Joel.
I didn't do that.
You looked right in my eye. You looked right in my eye. What are you like?
I wish this wasn't audio only.
you check that CPU prostate and make sure everything's feeling good. You tell the CPU to overclock a couple megahertz and just see how it
Spin
feels.
it a couple times.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
We're loving brothers.
at what part of you you're like, it's time for a song?
It's Charlie's song, and it's always sunny.
I can't breathe.
Can I use this opportunity as a segue to something real quick?
Yes.
So, remember when I said it's likely that the car jumped between 3 towers?
Yes.
Well, Picor sent me an article saying that scientists analyzed the movie and saying that was the most likely stunt in the movie.
Now, I will probably agree with that. Let's go over some of the other stunts in the
Or could
movie.
you send that to?
I would love to read.
My phone
I would love to read
died.
that. I'm not making fun of that at all. I'd love to read it. But let's talk about some of the other stunts in the movie, just because people need to go see this movie. The Rock drives an ambulance off a bridge, crashing through a drone, taking the drone out
A drone that flew through a tunnel.
through a tunnel, and then he rips the minigun off the drone and uses that to attack a helicopter. That's a stunt that happens. Paul Walker, do you remember that scene in Hot Rod where the guy falls down the hill for 2 minutes?
Oh my God.
Paul Walker does that on a door going down these stairs. This guy kicks him.
Reinforced walls.
This door goes through the door frame because if you look at the way the door was hinged, it would have to break the entire metal door frame. Anyway, it goes through it, and they bounce their way down 7 flights of stairs.
Riding the door.
Riding the door.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I love how
It was
they're
amazing.
attached to the door, but they would fly off. But it was amazing.
They parachute cars out of a C-130 Am I ruining this for you, James?
They actually did.
I feel like that
so
part.
glad
I feel like that part.
They actually did that apparently.
Yeah, they did.
They actually parachuted the cars.
No.
Like,
Yes, for real.
well, I mean, they parachute.
They
tanks
didn't
and
film
stuff,
it the
jeeps
whole
and
way
stuff.
down, though.
Yeah, they did. They had skydivers filming it all the way down.
Really?
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wait,
No, I will give
the
those.
landing. The landing though was the landing part of that shot.
Oh no! The landing. They did not go straight to the landing. The landing. They were probably holding them in a crane, and they just dropped them from the
I
crane.
imagine the actual landing was like in a desert somewhere.
But actually, that
no
makes sense.
trees.
Can I just have one of those cars?
The Fast and Furious
Don't
franchise,
drop
one of the reasons they've been so successful is they do so many practical effects. They don't CG much stuff. Like they do is like in Fast 5 when they're dragging a giant safe through a town. They really were dragging something that looked like a safe.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was wondering because I was like, is this CGI? Because it's like,
No.
my eyes wanted to say this is CGI, but it looked really good though.
That sequence is one of the.
But my body is telling me
real Man, you ever seen James go full gospel? I'm in church in here.
Yes.
But, dude, that sequence in Fast 5 with the safe is one of the best action sequences I've ever seen in anything.
That was so awesome. That was
Like the whole time you're watching, like, is this real?
It was just so much fun.
Dave
just
hasn't seen it.
bashing everything.
Debbie, you haven't seen it either, have you?
I'm not
Which
even
one?
appreciate it.
Fast 5, the
No, I
safe
haven't seen
sequence.
any of the fast.
Then why did you ask which one?
You saw 7.
You should have
That
said
was the
no.
only one. The last one apparently.
Debbie comes in right to see the tearful goodbye. You can't cry. You don't know what he means to you. You didn't grow up with Paul Walker's dreamy eyes.
But Vin Diesel.
What, you're Vin Diesel?
No, the other. What's his name?
Paul
The
Walker.
Rock.
No,
The
no,
Rock?
no, the other guy.
The
Dumb.
Rock?
Who's dumb?
Vin
Vin
Diesel.
Diesel.
Yeah.
You like Vin Diesel?
The bald guy.
Yeah, the bald guy. I like
He's a
him.
really
Dude,
good
he's
actor.
badass.
He is.
You don't like Vin Diesel?
He's got a lot of
Compared to The
nuance.
Rock, a lot of nuance.
I mean, they're all pretty cool too. But Vin Diesel.
I like The Rock. Daddy's got to go to work.
So I saw a comment on YouTube and it was like wasn't actually guessing that he was actually talking to his daughter. And that's
Yeah, I
in the
never
trailer.
would guess
Yeah,
that.
I was just thinking like a typical like Daddy's going to work. But it's like these kids like
He's
right
literally
there.
telling his kid, Daddy's going to work. Okay, so I guess since we're already, instead of what are you playing this week, let's talk about Furious 7. James hasn't seen it yet, has he? I'm
Because
sorry.
the answer to that question is Bloodborne downstairs in the beach house.
Bloodborne downstairs.
I'm playing Bloodborne downstairs.
Please Joel is.
With his brothers.
I didn't have enough locks on my back door.
What?
That's not what you were referring to. I was going to joke. What were you going down with?
I thought you were talking about butt stuff.
That's not at all what I meant. Debbie's dying. We
Joel
lost
is
Debbie.
not drinking at all. This is just him as a
Debbie,
person.
Joel is drinking a sparkling ice orange mango, which, if you're curious, is pure crap in a bottle. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Colored.
Joel's nodding like, yes, they are. They're horrible. Now, all right, so Joel, Picor, have you seen all the Fast movies?
Not this latest one, no.
Okay, but you've seen all the others?
Yeah.
Okay. So Joel and I guess, are the only ones at this table who've seen all of them now?
Yeah.
Joel, what did you think about Furious 7?
Oh, loved it.
It was
Loved
awesome,
it.
wasn't
I
it?
mean, it's to me, if you're a fan of the games Uncharted, like you like those type of games, I would say this is
It's melodrama,
Need for
but it's
Speed
good.
and Uncharted.
Yeah.
It's that. It's just like absolute insane set pieces, and you just sit there and go, you know what? Like it's the same reason why I enjoy the Expendables. I like the cheesy one-liners and stuff like that. But it's amazing that these movies actually bring a lot more soul into it than you would expect.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not a crazy amount that's just nuts, but like I don't know the characters. Are you guys still talking about butts?
Crack it up.
All right, Silverback, what's going on?
Will you please tell that bunk bed story again? When you were in your dorm. How we told it?
Anyway, Furious 7 was good. Over to Joel's story.
When I was in school, I usually chose the. I'm gonna see if I can get this right.
So you gotta tell it the way you
I'm
told
trying
it.
to. I'm trying. I'm gonna do my
This
best.
is an actual story that Joel told to James. Not supposed to be a joke story. Just like, oh, this is a story about something I happened to me. It was not a joke story.
Just a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Wait, did Debbie hear this?
No, I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway,
She's
so
setting the
in
stage.
my dorm, I would usually choose. There'd be 2 bunk beds, and I would always choose to be in the top bunk.
You didn't have one that was just yours? Like, wouldn't you always choose, like, every semester?
Like every semester, like, I'd rather be in the
like
top
every
bunk
night when you
than-
guys are, like, flipping for whose bed.
Oh, yeah, like, I'm sleeping in your bed tonight. Swapping beds. No, but anyways, no, I would choose the top bunk, and I told James, I realized it came out weird, but I was like, to me it makes sense, but to him it sounded really horrible. So I always choose the top bunk bed because I always felt like I was safe from other people coming into the room.
He said I was always. This is what he said. You know, I'm worried. You know, you're more safe because they can't get you in your special place.
I was trying to say that like it felt like it was disconnected for the rest of the dorm.
You guys are here first. The top bunk kept Joel's special place safe.
There's a vein in Debbie's neck which is currently trying to explode out from her body.
No, okay. Without sounding so horrible, can you get what I mean?
I
Like,
grew up,
it felt
I grew
like
up in the top bunk.
it
I
felt
slept
like
in the top bunk for the first 13 years of my life.
Right?
Okay, in the dorms, people would storm into the room and start talking to you and everything. But like, if you were in your bunk bed, people just didn't like bother you because they thought you were asleep or whatever. So like, I felt.
You better plug your holes. They're coming for you.
Speaking of plugging holes,
Can we finish one weird story?
it's connected. It's connected to this exact story.
All right.
This a good buddy of mine, a Korean friend. He was on the.
Because that matters. The story won't work unless he's Asian.
He was a really cool guy.
For being an Asian,
he
right?
would stay up really late because he was going back to Seoul, Korea, because it's the opposite time. So he would be up like all throughout the night, the last 2 weeks before semester was over. Well, he like woke me up in the middle of the night. He's like, I just hear him going, "Psst, Joel." I was like, what the heck? And he's like, look down. He's like, he goes, butt massage. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? There was 2 dudes below my bunk. One guy was giving another guy a butt massage.
And that's why you're worried about your special place.
Wait.
Yeah.
Were they your roommates?
One of them was.
And a
yeah.
random dude just.
And another guy, yeah, because he woke me up really quick. He chucked like a little something on, and they're sitting down there. I was like, "What the f is going on?" I was like, and so all throughout the day, like whenever we sit in the room, like I was like, "Ha ha ha, butt massage." And so my friend
Stop
Sam.
calling him your Korean friend. Just give him a name. It's Korean. This doesn't matter for the story.
To me, it does because he was the coolest Korean guy I ever met.
Joel, you understand that's a racist, right?
Well, I knew a lot of the Koreans, and they were very angry, and they weren't nice.
Joel, do you know what racism is? Do you understand what racism
Yes,
is?
I do understand, but I'm like, you can still get annoying people. There's annoying Americans, and
America's not a race.
I mean white people, whatever.
White people, oh my god. Joel, stop digging.
You're not American unless you're white.
You know, Americans. Oh wait, white people. Whatever. You're Polish. Just say like. All right.
Whatever.
Do you think you're equal to other white people?
I'm not equal to anybody. Anyways, yeah. Well, that's my dorm story.
It's time for comment of the week.
Joel's got it. Can I add my name to this too from last week?
Yeah, this is Dave's comment of the week.
Oh man, you do yours first because I gotta load it on my laptop.
Okay, how this is in reference to the Bloodborne podcast, which you guys should go check out if you didn't. The Dark Souls 2 guys came back; they were awesome. We talked about Bloodborne for a while, and I talked about one of the things I didn't like about Bloodborne was I felt like the game was disrespectful of the player's time because it makes you grind so much for menial reasons, not for actual gameplay advancing reasons. And this comment was, how is it disrespectful that you have to grind because you aren't good enough? There are plenty of people that can beat the blood-starved beast at base level.
Not me.
Get good, nerd.
Play more
Which,
Bloodborne, you nerd.
he said there's plenty of people who can beat the blood-starved beast at base level. I don't know if that's a thing or not. The game's been out for like a week and a half, but I'd love to see someone try to beat the blood-starved beast
but
at
you're
base
the
level
nerd.
without leveling up at all.
Yeah, that's like level 12. I beat it at level 14. I mean, like 2 levels
Level
up.
12 is not base level, is it?
But
Is that your base
Like
level?
when you start at
Oh, you're level 12?
Yeah,
Okay.
like the only time you start at level 0 is if you choose like the one character that's called, I think it's like Waste of Skin or something like that. That's literally what it's called.
What's the advantage of picking that character?
It's if someone wants an insane challenge, just start with
Gotcha.
nothing.
It's
Yeah.
like playing like the mentally challenged characters in Oblivion or Fallout, where like people would treat you differently, and like everything was just more difficult.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you could actually play as someone who's like totally mentally handicapped in Fallout 1. And there was actually
When you talk with people, can't understand any of what they say. It's like gobbledygook.
and
Yeah.
there were unique dialogue trees for people
That's
who,
before
like,
political
like,
correctness came
condescend to you
along.
and stuff, and
They still have it in Fallout 3. If
Really?
if you have intelligence down low enough, people won't talk to you, or like your answers won't make any sense to them. They'll say like, "What?" And you'll be like, "Ugh," or say just.
How do you spell that?
I'm a crab. Does anyone have anything else they want to talk about before we wrap the
second
podcast down?
comment of,
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dave's
you're
comment.
determined to bury this comment. I want its glory to shine upon the internet.
All right, shine.
Technically, it's already on the internet, but I've got a City Skylines Let's Play going, and I've got a farming area in my city. I asked for suggestions of what to name the farming district. You have to like lay the districts out and say like, okay, this is a farming district. You have to name it. And so I've got a couple suggestions for names, but this one is 100% going in as the final name for the farming district. Christopher comments, nope, that's not him. Where'd he go? Electra comments, the farming district should be called 50 Shades of Hay. That is 100.
That's pretty good. That's a good comment, which is very rare for us to get. And we also got some other comments saying how much they loved Mark being on the Bloodborne podcast and how he should
Really?
come back more. Yeah, because of all the fantastically inappropriate jokes he makes. No one was kicking you out, James. James just gave me a very hurt look.
Now, Dave, I don't watch any of your videos. But
Wow.
why
Thanks for the knife in the back, Jelly. Carry on.
why did he say 50 Shades of Hay? What were you?
It's a farming district.
I understand, but what commentary was around that farming district that
I
awarded that
think it's from
comment?
classical
You're
literature.
talking about how sexy that farm looks.
Why are you running your hand slowly on your laptop as you stare me in the eyes and ask me that?
Shades of hay.
50 Shades of Hay. I apologize for the cultural insensitivity of my comment.
Because we've been so culturally mindful.
Everyone but Joel, my Korean friend. Okay, he wasn't American. I mean, white.
Okay, I met someone last month. But what is it wrong for him to go? Hey, so I met this really cool
No,
American
Joel,
guy.
when you say my Korean
Like you're
friend.
getting racist. You call me an American.
No, when you say my Korean friend, and then your story has no bearing. If you're like, my Korean friend was explaining his culture to me, that's one thing. We're like,
He
my
was
Korean
eating-
friend
he was
was
eating
talking to
Korean
me
dish.
about a butt massage. It has nothing to do with him being Korean. It's like saying,
I don't know.
It's like saying my black friend was talking to me about we were going to get something to eat. It's like, why does it matter? He's your black friend.
It doesn't matter. I just I don't know. I think
So
like
you know
there's-
which friend.
I don't like.
Joel doesn't
I
know.
don't have a ton of Korean friends. I don't know a lot of Korean people. He's like the coolest guy.
Okay,
one of the
alright.
coolest guys I know. And I
know you.
I'm not being racist, no. But I would feel.
I'm not racist. He's my Korean friend.
I wouldn't be pissed if they go like, "Yes, so my American friend had."
Americans aren't a race.
No. I said Korean, so I said Korean. Why are you saying? Why is that bad to say it's my Korean friend?
I think it means nationality,
Yeah.
not race.
I think you.
I'm saying.
Well,
so
Jake,
like,
the into the
But it
conversation.
still
is,
isn't.
I know.
but
You're not
I'm saying
intending.
so like, oh, my Japanese friend or my German
It's
friend.
100%
Whatever.
relevant to
Actually,
butt massage, other than the accent.
I know it's that, but I'm like, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying I would be able to like, hey, my American
But he's
friend.
Korean. I want
Yeah.
people to know that
I met
there
some
are
really cool
good
American
Korean
guys.
people out there.
I know you didn't mean anything by it,
Yeah.
but it is still kind of a racist.
But we
thing.
wouldn't be here if we didn't pick on you.
Well,
That's
of
true.
course, I'm totally fine with being picked on. I'm just saying, I'm pissed off about that because it's like, well, what if he like Sam? He's over there. He's like, hey, I met some really like my
Joel,
awesome
can
American
I-
friend.
can
I'm
I
like,
actually-
you racist bastard! Like, just call me a guy.
Joel, can I explain yourself?
Yeah.
That might be what help. The point.
Can I explain yourself?
Yeah, really.
I agree.
Joel can't word, so I'm not trying to help. The purpose of the Korean part wasn't the fact that it was Korean, it's that he was a foreign exchange student. like who was just stuck in this unfamiliar setting and all of a sudden butt massage. Like
Yeah, I say butt massages are kind of an unfamiliar setting for me too.
That means always funny
And I'm
because,
American
the way
race.
he said it too. He's like, "Oh, you want the butt massage?" And I just love the way he said it. It was awesome.
Wait. He was asking if you wanted a butt
No,
massage?
not me. Well, we would joke around after that because he saw that because we would laugh.
okay,
We would like
okay.
just snicker behind the other guy and be
It's
like,
just
"Oh,
jokes
butt
with
massage."
bros.
Did you ever talk to your roommate about that?
Yeah, he got kicked out.
Just for a butt massage?
No, they would do that all the time, but it was really weird. And there wasn't supposed to. And
Was it a deep
Now,
tissue massage?
It was a little inappropriate because of where we're at.
To actually wrap things up, I have another pre-built comment actually. We talked about the pre-built in the email.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
On Slick Deals, and James, you saw this earlier, right?
Yeah.
There is an HP Envy. Just get out of the way. Phoenix desktop on sale with a coupon code. It's 30% off for the total computer. It's a pre-built, but it comes with an Intel Core i7 4790, not a K, but still a 4790.
Which stock speed 4 gigahertz, turbos up to 4.4.
Yeah,
Oh, you can't overclock.
yeah, you'll be okay. 8 gigs of DDR3, a 2 terabyte full speed hard drive, spindle, but still full speed, and a GTX 980 mouse and keyboard, Windows 8.1 DVD burner for $1,000 and $1,089 shipped.
That's pretty darn
That's a good deal.
That's a
you
really
couldn't.
good deal.
I don't. You couldn't put a 980 and a 4790K into a computer for that much money.
No, you couldn't.
Well, no, you could, but like just barely.
So, and if
You
you
don't
think
need
about
a
it,
part. It's just having to sit
The case would
together.
suck. Everything about it would suck except for the 4790.
And the case here
That's
is
a nice
not
looking
terrible. It's kind of like a gamey looking computer, you know. It's a pre-built game looking.
I mean, it's called an HP Envy Phoenix. Let your mind wander.
yeah. But
2 names, so bad.
if you look at this coupon code, this is a $1,500 computer with a 30% off code. You're almost taking the 980, like you're taking 2/3 of the 980 out of the equation of the cost. That's a good deal.
It's a good deal if you want to spend $1,000 on a gaming computer.
Well, yeah, but
But that's a gaming
what
computer.
people
That'll
say.
play everything for years. Years and years.
This is a 5-year gaming computer.
Yeah.
So, I've
Well,
actually
the
been seeing
Potato
these-
Masher's a 5-year gaming.
Oh, now, James, you've been seeing these too a lot recently. Like the last few months, the pre-builds have been getting weirdly good deals. So keep an eye out.
Cool. All right. You guys
Cool,
can follow us. casualshenanigans@gmail.com. At casualshenanigans
Wait,
on
we
Twitter.
didn't do 90 seconds with Joel.
Did you have one?
I already.
I think
That
that
was
was
way more
like
than-
Yeah, I think-
too many 90 seconds.
90
this time.
seconds and Joel's special.
My 90 seconds. I apologize to
Special
everyone.
safety
I do not
case.
hate other races. I love everyone, and I also hate everyone too at the same time.
Equally though.
Equally, yeah. You may hate me too. So,
It's okay. You're Polish. I think that kind of goes with the territory.
yeah.
Now, not to spoil things or tease things too much, but after we stop this podcast, Joel, what are we about to go play?
Bloodborne.
No.
No.
Freudian slip. That's what I really want to do.
That's what he's gonna do.
I forgot about. We're gonna go play the Nebula from Hell.
Which is a board game Joel's been working on. And so if you guys were like, wow, I'm so glad I kickstarted Norman. I really enjoyed when the movie came out on time and I got to watch it.
Would you actually like to see an actual product finished? Now's your chance.
For anyone who's curious,
you can tell by him talking about Bloodborne, he cares just as much about this game.
We're-
as he does
we're-
Bloodborne.
Joel-
Joel's
very
making
close.
he's making very good progress on Norman. We just like giving him crap for it. And we're also working on a board game. He's just had an idea. He's working on this board game called The Nebula from Hell. We're going to be playtesting an early version of it, and you can expect to see a Kickstarter coming sometime soonish.
Very soon, yeah. Within
Quarter
a couple weeks.
three?
Couple weeks.
Quarter 3,
Yeah.
quarter 2,
No, yeah.
quarter 2. Maybe a
yeah.
delay. Maybe get pushed back.
Like 2 or 3 weeks.
A few patches first.
Yeah. So if you like Dark Souls and Bloodborne,
And
you're
board games.
in a board game form.
Well, this is a board
this
game.
is your
Actually,
game.
that's a pretty good
That's-
description.
that's-
I'd say if you like Cards Against Humanity,
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity.
drinking, and board
Shoots and
games.
ladders. Shoots and ladders and Dark Souls.
Joe,
A
what's
lot
the
more
subtitle?
shoots than
What?
ladders.
What's the subtitle for the game? I think it's something.
The board game that hates you.
Yeah, so that's
But we love you guys, and we thank you for listening to us. Thank you for making Casual Shenanigans.
exist.
I was going to say the number one podcast.
You say podcast.
Podcast.
You said
pod. I said pod. I said podcast.
Podcast.
We are in North Carolina.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for coming out. At Casual Shenanigans, at JERMgaming, at Evil Viking on Twitter. Right into the show, casualshenanigans@gmail.com. 2 weeks. GTA
Support us
5
on-
video
support
coming.
us on Patreon.
Yes, support us on Patreon because it buys us stuff.
Make it better.
We do a lot of cool things with it.
Yeah, we do. I think for the amount of money
we
we're
get
getting
new
on
mics, we
Patreon,
get
We're
computer
going
parts.
parasailing tomorrow. It's gonna be fun.
We buy an extra copy of Blood
This
Bowl.
beach
watched
house
so
was paid
much-
for by Patreon.
so much alcohol.
Who's ready for lobster? Thank you, listeners.
I'm a crustacean. And with that, everybody, with that, Picor, what should everyone do? He's never watched the show.
I would never.
Yeah. Debbie, what should everyone do?
Go to the beach. And slap a seal.
You don't ever have to be on the podcast again. You want to try again?
Stay casual.
Don't worry, he has a power.